So this is Universal Law Community Trust's latest chirping after many, many takes, and we decided that we would go back to basics and do a bit of R2A2. They'll recognize, relate, assimilate, and action, with preparation and planning being the key to success. So first up tonight, we've got 1160 telling us about this amazing thing that's gone on at the Supreme Court in India relating to forum non-convenience. So for all our lovely listeners out there who have been with us from the beginning, they'll know that the dispute over the assignment of consent is brought about through people claiming that they've got it and then not being able to prove it. And when these organisations have been taking action using charges that they've created in their own little privatised jurisdiction, and then getting the police, who are also privatised, to come and enforce it, using in the flighty CPR and the acronym, and using it for civil procedure rules, and also turning that into criminal procedure rules, which means that they could then indoctrinate the police who pretended that they weren't legally trained, didn't know what they were doing, to come and enforce it for them. So now that was obviously the evidence that we needed to exemplify, because we laid the claim that legal wasn't lawful. And there we have it. The Supreme Court agree with us. They agree with the Ministry of Remedy that an FIR based on administrative order. Are you doing it?
Yeah, I was just putting myself off mute. Yeah.
Okay. So the Supreme Court held that an FIR based on an administrative order passed without jurisdiction over a civil plot dispute cannot be sustained. So what that translates into is that forum non-convenient, once for this established jurisdiction has been established, to not or not participate in that jurisdiction because we've retired from such, then any action that's taken, implying that there's a contract at that point and enforcing it, has gone. It means that legal isn't lawful, and legal is separate to the law. And if your legal system and modus operandi isn't lawful, then you can go to prison for it. So that's what we've set as a standard, which is when they walk in there and say, "Hello, Minister Ben," and they actually put Minister Ben in the box on the FIR charge sheets, they nullified the claim that they would have to have the jurisdiction. They didn't have the jurisdiction for the right of use of Minister Ben, and they carried on and used it. And that's what we needed to get them to do. We needed them to do exactly that, so that then when it came to it, we could end up with this, which is that their Supreme Court in their jurisdiction agree with us that are not in their jurisdiction, that any foreign non-convenient cases, that's out of jurisdiction, means that any action taken is not enforceable because you haven't got an assignment of consent, which is why the only question that any of you needed to learn to ask was, where is your assignment or my assignment of consent? That was it. And
Yeah.
that's what just takes us to the KISS box in our minister manual. Keep it simple, stupid. So that is pretty awesome. That came through 19th of Gregorian Augustine fake month. And today we've got, second up, we've got my little projector assistant. Oh, we'll have to do that one when we've shown it.
That's okay. We'll come back to it.
Okay, so we've got a second up in our practice plan and deliver presentation. We've got the Police Federation chairman arrested on suspicion of fraud. So if we scroll down there, what it is, I think 4 or 5 of them, who through us doing what we did by getting them to lay the claims out of jurisdiction, they had to create fictional titles to imply they had the jurisdiction. And obviously, when it came to it, they didn't have jurisdiction, even though they'd taken the action against us. And they thought that they would hide behind the ability, the lack of ability to be able to access the data, because you had to guess then what legal fiction title had been used to unlawfully imprison you with in order for you to get access to the data, which takes us to what we were talking about yesterday about the universal disclosure. So instead of you having to know what it is that you're looking for, you've gone to the content. So any box that had universal law, minister, MLN, community, and trust in there as keywords, or kindness and credit, we put each of these keywords in separate boxes and search that way. We're looking at content of the data that's inside these boxes without us having to guess the title that the data has been unlawfully incarcerated. And so that's how we managed to be able to prove then that the data that had been used by HMCTS, HMPPS, and CPS and the police was different data cohorts to the ones used by the Ministry of Justice. So by putting in a subject access to Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Justice with the data cohort that was attached to a national insurance account and birth certificate, and performing the search on that, the Ministry of Justice came back and said no records found. So we used the Ministry of Justice logo and database and smashed it into the police database, CPS, HMPPS, and HMCTS database to prove that the police, under the protection of the Police Federation, these people who were put there to protect the police from the people, finding out about this, about their data, taking any action against them, who were also inclusion with the judges, who were also inclusion with the barristers, who were also inclusion with the banks, who was then inclusion with the privatised version that followed the same thing as shareholders. And we proved there that people were unlawfully incarcerated using fictional data, and these were the people responsible for giving the other subordinates the orders to do that. And because of the hierarchy system obviously being in place, there was nowhere left to hide. So in 2025, the actor in the role of the head of the Police Federation, they got removed, and this individual got put in place to act. And the offer was made: are you going to disclose this data by searching for the content instead of getting us to try to guess the names and titles that you've used and data cohorts that you've used, and release this data to us? That went on them. But this part of the cycle, no, they wouldn't. So they've been removed and exposed. And because we've restored universal law in all parts where it's being glossed over by this shit, they had nowhere left to hide. And off they went, but the police arresting their own police federation chiefs, which is probably
There's only been two in the 106 years.
2 women.
Yeah, just two of them in the 106-year history. There was only been two of them.
So that
Crazy.
it doesn't really
That's awesome.
matter whether you're a man or a woman, does it? If you're gonna
Yeah.
try and you see the other part of that is as you go up a little bit further, the chief of the police federation. This is because given back we've indemnified the mayor's role instead, and so the police federation and police were being protected by this police commission, the
Hmm.
police commissioner, and obviously they were going to themselves and marking their own homework and saying no, that unlawful arrest is legal. Well, our barrister mate says so, and they say that we can't get in the court anymore because we fabricated the data. So because they'd fabricated the data, that was the strategy that they had gambled on the fact that nobody was going to go and use that data. And one of them did use the data and then went and corrected the data. And like we said, implied that they were claimant of that and endorsing it. And in the other side, we did it in reverse, which is how we make the spiral of this thing. And we did it in reverse where they used Minister Ben instead and proved from the minute that so whether it was Minister MFN or some fabricated fictional data, the effects were the same, which is to completely prove. We wanted to find out exactly who it was who was responsible for this, and it was whoever it was who was acting the role of the head of the police federation, who in the end who was until now hiding behind the police commissioner, and it never got to that point. So now those people, that part, if you think of the pyramid, that layer out, there's nothing stopping the police going and arresting those people who've been using titles to pedophiles young women, children, anywhere else, which includes those people who were claiming to be royal. And so, because Harry is no longer a threat to the crown because there simply isn't, the feudal system is imploded, then that's why he come back to Blighty, because there's no difference between him or anybody else. And more specifically, not those people who've been going around trying to claim that they were a king or whatever. They've been proven that they prove their claim. That when they do pull it out, it's terrorism and war and bombs and
Mm.
blah blah blah. As we know. So then up next we've got. I mean, this is what we said would happen if we did it as Minister of Event, and this is what we've done. So we've got now Burnham program. We found this last night, which is really the Distomo reset. We've done a very nice website on behalf of the Burnham program's logo. They have slipped HS2 in there, which obviously, as long as they don't expect to put any more in where it's secured, because that's going to be used for getting the homeless off the streets, meeting that target, and creating sustainable growing projects there in phase two, what was called phase two. But they can go across and create leads as a hub, and let the railway track go down beside where it already is there, and, and use that what they've already got. Nobody needs to get there 18 minutes quicker. They say it's new. For the cost of what it's going to cost us, I mean, it's priceless. We go chopping trees up and contaminate our environment more than we already are. But the very interesting part here, telling you about the Parliament Act that we used, giving the Commons a right to override Lords. Notice it's not the House of Lords, yeah, it's
Mm.
Lords. Lords is
Just
just
the
title,
Lords.
just
Yeah.
not even the Lords, just Lords. Obstruction.
Mm.
Um, and so it goes on to talk about the Bundesrat model. But really, isn't it amazing that the people in Germany who were supposed to have lost the war ended up with things like the Bundesrat model being employed while Wales traveled about like slaves to the colonies. But it's all right because you're speaking English, so you must have won the war, or you'd be speaking German. That's what they've indoctrinated everybody with. And you know, okay, but isn't the Queen's dad the brother of Adolf Hitler's dad? It sounds like yes. So,
Oh, wow. This says larger regions can carry more votes, but not proportionally, preventing London dominance.
yeah, it's relocating the center of the energy that the people in the community create, and it's direct into your community. It's not being sent to London and then we get the scraps that's left out of it put back into the community because they're saying, oh, there's all these admin fees for us to maintain and manage and supply these services to you in through our private corporations. So while the fat cats are getting £9 million bonus for toxifying all the water, and the water costs go through the roof, you've got to fucking filter it and buy a filter as well to do that, then it, that's gone. So it's going to be localized, which is exactly what the Distomo reset has been set out to do since 2021. That came about as a project proposal. So everybody's saying, "What do we do as a project proposal?" That was it. And then here it is on here, so you can get involved in any of these things from here. They're talking about citizens' assembly instead of first past the post. It even goes on, even though they've won the greatest majority through using first past the post, they are saying it's unfair and we need proportional representation instead, which is what we've the only people who don't agree with that are the people sitting at 33rd degree in the hierarchy system and above, and the people who capitalise on another. Honestly, we see everything as a benefit for the whole. And if you go down, so that explains to everybody about the representation part. And then the bit that I'm interested in now is when we created Ministry of Remedy and we've done this universal injunction and courts justice to our newly restored count, we said who, obviously, the definition of jury, who's going to judge you. So if everybody goes in there and we say to them, what's your name? Immediately they prove that they're part of the same cult and mindset. So there was never going to be a jury able to sit unless the jury's educated in what contract is, consent, all of those things. And so that was set as a definition of who's going to judge you when you walk in there. Some people are supporting capitalists who've got shares in the private prison service who's using his collateral, even though you haven't done anything, to hold you on remand for half a year or more, or 5 lots of half a years, because of all of these hypothetical charges that they want to lay against you, but you're not in their jurisdiction because you won't contract. And so that is the definition of operating a cartel. So the fact that in order for you to be a judge, you have to be a solicitor and a barrister. If you go to that bit, it says it's not an act of God. It's quite funny
Yeah, that's what,
there.
yeah, says here.
For Sophie Fleming here. So if you go down a little bit more, scroll down. Sophie Fleming was the story about this forum non-convenient. So you can put in to the Law Gazette, forum non-convenient and obfuscation. These are the keywords. And it was Sophie Fleming, and then you've got Elizabeth Skinniar's story.
Oh, is it in this or do I have to search it separately?
No, not yet. You don't have to do that bit yet. But
Okay.
just go, if you go to here, the requirement that all judges must first qualify as barristers, also this is an assumption. Stop, not and law of nature. Lay magistrates already handle 95% of criminal cases by volume without legal qualification. Juries of 12 ordinary people decide murder. The adversarial traditions insistent that only lawyers and judges are professional monopoly dressed as quality standards. Now, I couldn't have written it better myself.
Yeah, seriously, man. Do they mean what they're writing, really?
That's our writing. That's what we've written.
Yeah,
There's
I
these
know.
definitions they put there. If we read the Cocust and the glossaries that we've written, you'll see that this is they've taken it and put it into there. Oh, I did some nice, interesting parts. So now what you can do is there's a policy. This policy normally, oops. So the policy that is part of this program creates a 2-year postgraduate judicial training route open to any candidate with 10 or more years of professional experience in any field. And that's because we don't expect somebody to just come out of university, do 2 years judicial training, and then come and judge us because you haven't got any experience. So
Mm.
it's about your experience. So it's giving a route through to create lay judges, and so not just in the magistrates court. It has to be in, and that's our crown. So that's our crown consciousness saying that this hypothesis that you need to go slowly way to the bar so that you can operate within our cartel of our secret courts with this secret language, with this secret definitions about legalese. That's all been blown out of the water because they came and brought universal law into the dock, obliterated it in Greek. And so loads of
Mm.
children have passed their Welsh GCSEs. They've been able to take an exam in their Indigenous language. So that's a massive chicken box for that. So this organisation called Russell Group Universities, they're going to introduce the universal law from ecclesiastical all the way down to contract platform as a structure, and also the application and legal and process of legals is the framework legal, not is it is the process that the law is applied, is that lawful, and only then can they suggest that it is ticking the box as lawful. We don't need another word to define it unless it's not the same thing. I don't need to call the same thing by two different titles. Do I? If it's the same thing, and we're speaking the same language. And so this is a platform where they're going to be able to go, you're going to be able to access the universities, but instead of you going to go through HMCTS for your training and through the legal process, you'll be going through the education box instead, and you'll be getting different kind of, you'll be getting a universal law, minister your mind training. The cost of that, they've said, is 15 grand there and 10 grand living stipend, 25 grand for each trainee, and the government will fund it because that's what your training wants to be used for. Because what we do, the interlopers. So the
Your
interlopers,
voice keeps going away.
we've just got rid of the interlopers. So it's direct communication between you and the course provider and the information provider and the government is just there in order for them to arrange it, really, to facilitate it's like China's credit account now online, but you are the password and your consent counts, and if somebody can't prove that they've got it, then they can't imply that you're obliged to perform any of their obligations of any suggestion or hypothesis or presumption that they haven't explained to you before you said yes or no to something, and I spelt that out in a immigration document today to define rape. So the people who are getting off the boats, and they're saying that all of these religions that believe that they can have sex with children, or rape women, or rape anybody without their consent. It was spelling out consent for them in all these different languages, so that nobody can say that, oh, we didn't know it wasn't all right, because we've been doing this with child brides since Henry the fucking Eighth here, and uh, and then done it in the background with these families and this elite bloodline already having arranged marriages before the children are even born. So, you know, and then you've got the presumption that your baby that's being born to you is yours, but because you used your Crown Corporation name to register it with, it's now going to be presumed, or it was being presumed, that the baby was also Crown estate, Crown property, collateral for the Crown. Because we were living in a colony with an invisible fence, with legislation, acts and statutes, and adding to the administration of the law. So that takes us back now to where you were with this FIR, these FIR charge sheets. If they've set off with Minister and Ben to initiate the claim, the Minister and Ben means you haven't got any jurisdiction. 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 That's why we went in and asked them, what fucking language are you using in here? T glossa eniactor. What is this language? What language are you using? And it was jurisdiction. Well, if I say to you, any language, the magic word is tu verita symbolio, where is the contract? Or where is the assignment consent? Where is the contract that I entered into with you that you're going to rely on later in evidence? Well, we made a fictional account, so we're going to rely on you coming 90 days, within this 90-day period, screaming, I want a lawyer, you've made a mistake, this is not my name, this is my name, here is the evidence, that is my name, and you've made a false claim anyway, because even the name that you thought was yours wasn't, but we trapped you into getting you to lay a claim by addressing these, there's a word for this, Kafkaesque charges, Kafkaesque uh, charges without substance, and getting you to respond to them. And then, obviously, by your response, which some people think that if you don't respond, you are still under the hypothesis of being assumed through some word called acquiescence, which we all learned when we were learning the UCC, Commercial Code, and how they were doing it. It doesn't mean that that is true. They gave you acquiescence. They told you that this means if you don't do this by this point, then this, we will presume this about you, and we'll call it acquiescence. So that was the either way, either way you fucked. If you do reply, you fucked. If you don't reply, you fucked. So that's why they're hedging their bets that one or the other, it's the black or the red. Either they won't respond and I can call it acquiescence, or they will respond and I can say they're in contract because they've acknowledged the claim. And so what we did is we gave away that belief and didn't perform at all in 6 lots of 90 days at various intervals in 10 different accounts. And so the definitions that they taught us, that they expected us to then rely on to say, well, because I'm party and secure party and the UCC means this. Oh, fuck that. Back down the ladder you go. Down the snake, sorry. Down the snake you go, back to the start again as the legal fiction and do all the steps again. And then get to the point again where they got you inside and they say, you need to go to the court, or you need to get a solicitor. Well, who the fuck is you? And so here, all of this is set out as a blueprint, which I'm very pleased to see. Um, that's explaining how quick they're explaining what they did, using COVID as an excuse. And they use civil buildings because we'd secured all of the courts, secured all of the courts to justice, and they couldn't use it. We secured the hospitals, that's why you can't be treated on the wards, because they were killing wards. They were putting you in there, stripping you of your assets to pay for the privilege of being in that bed instead of at home in your own bed being looked after. But that's gone. And so that's the restoration of rights. If we scroll down to where it's talking about HS2, oh, I like the bit where it tells you about, just stop it was there, HS2. What I was telling you
Yeah.
about, um, so they were telling you about the courts and how they had, the infrastructure complex with purchase of a driveway and a fast track for HS2 tunnel. And so what they're trying to do is get, which they can do, they can, because it isn't a constitution, the government can supersede what would have been a Senate and the, or the Ministry of Remedy. But the Ministry of Remedy were there was to stop them doing this, just as the Ministry of Remedy through the ULCT, just because the ULCT at that point was doing what they were doing to stop the asset stripping that was going on behind everybody's using the title COVID. And so they were, if you just go back up there, they're explaining how they just were able to get a load of people off the streets using COVID, everybody in it. And everybody was put into the prison. And we can see how much that's cost. It was to expose everything of this interpretation. This is how they interpret homelessness as a crime, putting you in prison in the Vagrancy Act, and saying that you are a public health risk if you're laid out in the street and there's an epidemic of an unsubstantiated claim. So this is where it all keeps spewing out. Um, and um, and if you go further down, it explains this one about the sitting hours. So they're going to actually make the judges work. So they carry on going. It explains how many hours there are in a day, how many for the working hours, how many hours the courts are actually used for while they're being occupied by the previous framework, and how many hours they can put in without actually building more courts or using any other venues. They can just do that by using the facilities they're available to use from I think 7:30 or 8 o'clock. There's also remand there just to get on the so the courts are open. They have 2 shifts and they can be open till 9 o'clock. And so I was at the court until 9 o'clock.
Oh,
And
wow.
they said, yeah, and still wouldn't contact them. And
What?
so
Still want to?
you know,
Sorry?
still wouldn't contract with them. So
Ah.
they'd throw me in 3 different docks and kept me there till 9 o'clock at night. And then got back to because the prison can only take you back on remand at a certain period of time, a certain time, and then that's it. Not going to lock the prison down. So, uh, so they've got 2 shifts now. They're going to have 2 shifts in the court instead of it being 10 till 2, and that's it, or 10 till 4, and then that's it. They're going to be made to work for their money, for their exchange, or their kindness credits exchange, which is coming next because we, yeah, you'll see that about different currency. Um, this is about the HS2 stuck behind a freighter crew. Okay, so let's just put all the freight on one line and the other line, and you can go slow. You don't need to go fast. And on the other line, it's already there. Kick the privatized corporations from trespass off on it all because their profit over people is causing harm because there's train crashes and accidents. So it's down to exemplify just how much we need to nationalise our railways. Which is if you scroll down a little bit more, but the place at phase two is
They're
safety.
using the Hong Kong MTR model.
And that's what they're using. But they talk about the tunnels, right? So we were talking about this last night. The tunnels are already there. So we can
Hmm.
actually go and walk through these tunnels in Lanzarote, for example. They're great big long lava tubes. And then they're talking about that there is estimated 1 million tons of Second World War munitions stuffed down this tunnel that's already there. That they ain't going to
Hmm.
pretend to create. Yeah, that they ain't going to
Oh.
pretend to create the tunnel so that they can
Estimated
use.
1 million tons of Second World War munitions.
Yeah, that's why we need to have a bridge. Oh, you can't really shit up. Well, they have. Then they've got the Isle of Man. Keep going. Dublin Holyhead Tunnel. So they're on about. This is why it's connected. We're saying if you go on Google Earth and you pan out, you could see inside the water, the side of the rock that's gone under the water, and there's no crack in it. Even where it's a fold, one plate under the other. It's not a crack.
Hmm.
It's, where somebody's drawn a line through it and said that belongs to this bit that we call it England, belongs to France or whatever. So then it goes onto the national grid. So I do recommend anybody would look at this, would read through it. They're not going to be uh, doing any of that. So can you keep going? They've already had the return of service of this, and
Hmm.
he's been standing in front of the rubbish tips tonight on TV. There where the Duchy of Lancashire has been used as the UK's rubbish dump and various other places, where I mean these are not people who just got and rented a van. They're illegal immigrant people and said, "I'll take your rubbish for 100 quid and dumped it in the bushes." This is organised waste disposal companies that haven't done it and just gone and rented some land or another corporation and dumped it in there. And it turns out that it's the king that did it under the duchies of Lancaster and charged the council for it. That's where the council tax went. So council tax went into the coffers of the king, and he, as the Duchy of Lancashire's beneficiary, then rented it. So, the Duchy rented it off the crown, and then the council, which is also the crown, got you all to pay council tax so they could pay the king back for renting you back the land to dump your rubbish on it, but you pay your council tax for them to take it away. And that's all come out. And that's because the crown's rubbish, not the
Oh,
feudal
wow.
system. How do you like that feudal system? Can you see it's rubbish there?
So two decades
Can you
ago.
see how rubbish that? So now they're going to have a £5,000 fine, fly tipping, and you've got 9 points on your license. That's if you get caught, tipping it out of your car, as a van or whatever. But now what they've done today is they've linked all of the data relating to. They've made it criminal. That's what they've done, and it should be instead of civil.
Hmm.
It's not civil. It's not fair. It's the definition of everything except civil. That is public order action needs to be taken. If we had any of that definition, life would be piling it on him. But that's slowly but surely you can see well, it's safe for Harry to come home because
Hmm.
there's only not a threat to the crown, like I said, because there isn't one. Um, and my friend came back to me with a text message. She went further on. If you just go further down, when I sent her the link, she came back with something rather interesting.
Your voice is cracking up a bit.
Just a second. Oh, a child's trust fund. So the child's 10 grand goes into an account when they're born to mature into 34k when they turn 18. That's your
All
treasury
right.
account. Right.
Mm.
So that's the dividends that aren't going to the corporation that were being siphoned off that are going back into the beneficiary's account because otherwise what's the point in having a government if that's not what you're going to do? And so it's how do you use the rock? Are you using the rock right? Are you applying universal law correctly? Have you met the conditions for us to be able to assign a significant amount of consent to give you the authority to act yet? And then there's HS2 stuck in the middle of it, so it needs to define exactly what it means by that. And I think he'll come out tomorrow and explain himself about that part because
Hmm.
we've already offered up HS2 phase 2, like I said, for the homeless and growing these sustainable projects with under the right to try. So I'll let you know how that goes and keep you up to date with that. But yeah, overall, not a bad effort, Andy Burnham.
Yeah.
I have to say. Oh, about the banks.
Yeah, banks.
Yeah, hard to know banks.
Nationalizing energy generation would make the 2030 decarbonization targets unachievable. Excellent. By destroying investor confidence overnight. It's already done way before 2030.
We're not going to need that because we're going to use clean energy.
Mhm.
And we
We're the
don't
ones who
need.
are going to make it in any case.
We're doing it already. We're photosynthesizing. How does you, that's it. How does your body absorb uh, food and then turn it into energy? Why can't we just copy that?
Electromagnetic frequencies.
I don't. I think it's your gut. I think it's your umphalos.
Yeah, their own follows. Yeah. But the ions have to have a medium to travel in, right?
It's your umphalos like a little vortex in it.
Mm.
Mm,
Plus the heart as well.
yeah, that's
Did you see the that Guasp, the guy who unrolled the hearts? Did you see that one? So basically, there's like a little gap within the heart, which is rolled up. So it's an actual vortex. Turns right, then
yeah.
turns left.
You can when you do gamma, where you move your brain waves into gamma and connect your heart to your frontal lobe, uh, you you can actually pick that up on an EGG reader by sticking it on somebody's head and they're getting them to do this, and they move their brain waves into gamma because your photons are in one frequency, the biophotons that come at you, and and you're uh, not picking it up. Don't pick that signal up until you create this crossover between your left and your right hand side of your brain. And then your brain waves are in gamma frequency. Turns
Mm.
incredible for looking. And then you can throw 17 police officers in the air before you do a face plant. realise you haven't got any wings. I left your wings at home. Oh, dear. So, what else have we got? Legacy argument. This is about why we're moving it up back to where it should have been before the occupiers came and took it over. So
Mm.
these are all the arguments as to why they shouldn't be doing it. And then they were saying, some people had said to one of my friends, she'd repeated their question back at me by proxy. I'm asking for a
Mm.
friend, why would he move from part of the number 10 up to Manchester? And well, why not? We'd rather it have to be down there. Where's it have to be anyway? It's just an office, inside an office, inside an office.
And it's
Renting
on
us all out.
Ella Road.
Elland Road, yeah. That's where
Yeah,
the police
sure.
station
Sure.
is.
I think it might be renamed a bit. Maybe except for the instead of the N and D, there'll be an S over there, isn't
Been in there a few times.
it? Mm. Ah.
It's West Yorkshire Police.
Oh.
And
Yeah. I
then
have
we've got
read a few.
immigration. Immigrations. This is about them being what they're going to get instead. So you've got 90 days to sort them out. They come here, the refugees, true or false. Are they genuine refugees? Or are they here for what were refugees? Let's look at this one.
The asylum hotel system is the most sustained and documented institutional failure of the post-Brexit era.
Yeah, he,
Yeah,
he's,
exactly.
he's at,
That's what the
yeah,
people have been yelling about all this while.
yeah. It's like he's been listening to our Zooms.
Literally. This is
It's
crazy.
like he's been said with the Distomo reset
The
program.
failure is not ignorance. Great, because ignorance is no defense either.
Mm. Well, it's been done on purpose. That's what that means. And we know that. We know that. It's
And it says
nobody,
here, blatantly, nobody has been held responsible.
no,
Wow, that's okay.
yeah, but nobody was being held responsible for the rubbish. And so he's gone and changed it so that all of the things that should be, the things that cause
Uh-huh.
harm are criminal. But they were like, well, we're not legally trained. We're not legally trained. And nobody's fucking legally trained because it's fiction, malakas.
It's called having a conscience or not,
Yeah.
by connecting with
So,
a small collective consciousness.
yeah, there you go. Look, organized preference.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just reading. For
Yeah.
institutional incentives for accommodation contracts over caseworkers, private profit over public interest, and a ministerial announcement over operational action.
Oh, let's have a look at the next bit. Look at that one. Non-distressed vessels. So here we go. Yeah, not distressed vessel intercepted in UK territorial waters are turned back. Yay! what
The
what
legal
turn
position is grey, really.
the problem is, where do you turn them back to if they are, what was the word they used? Undocumented for
Hmm.
that vessel. But flagless, stateless. What if they're stateless? Where do you send them back to? Turn back where? Which way's back?
Reverse.
Be coming around again then. Maybe that's what kind of Simon was singing about.
Well, universe, then at the
Don't even know
whatever
if that's
verse
true.
means, and then there's reverse, and that was
Verse,
going back or something.
verse.
Yeah,
Verse is
verse.
like a song, isn't it? Singing,
Yeah, but then reverse.
I sing it backwards.
Exactly. But it's just a reverse. It's not like literally going backward. Yeah, you led
Uh,
to domestic processing centers.
and look, they're going to put them all into the domestic processing centres, which are the army camps.
Yeah, military.
Yeah. And then they won't get bombed, will
Yeah.
they? So anyone claiming asylum, regardless of entry route, transfers to a domestic processing centre. Basic dormitory accommodation, canteen food, meeting 2,000 calorie minimum, of non-processed, because they may process food, but illegal as well. Um, so they have to have
Yeah,
uh,
they literally had to write this and not a prison.
some, yeah, magic, yeah. It's not a prison. Free to go. It's not in a prison. You can come and
Yeah.
go because you're not a criminal, but we'll know who you are. We know what you're doing. We'll take the, you come, won't you? Do you want to come and live here? Yeah, that's an assignment I'm saying. Get on the boat. This is our constitution. This is a book about don't rape people. For fuck's sake.
Just just
And then we'll let you in.
source has given you two arms. Just make sure that everyone's that much away. That's all.
Or even
To start
better,
with
we were talking about this, like, see it to you earlier on, about
personal space.
got all these people going down, coming on a boat, right? So you've got these people queuing up for 5 hours at Dover waiting to put their fingerprints in, to be told that they can go on the track on this trafficker's boat that you've now all paid your fees for being trafficked from Dover to Calais, for example, and you have given us all your DNA, and we know who you are, so we can track you or wherever it is that you go after that. And then we've got these other guys here who don't believe that you need to do that. They've all just piled 276 of them in a boat, and they've just come over without any papers whatsoever. And we're going to say, we'll pick you up out of the sea. But that's the assignment of consent. Do you want us to pick you up out of the sea? No, I'm going to drive my boat straight up the beach. I'm just going to get out.
Mm.
We can do that.
Yeah.
And why is it that those people believe that they don't need any papers, but these people on this side of the rock believe that they need to have these papers when they can see all of these hundreds of people coming and they get 2,000? It's like, that's like basic 2-star holiday accommodation, that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they've said. The system to move the system away from long stays in expensive hotels.
Yeah. So that's 90-day. There you go. 45-day maximum for families. That's as long as they can keep them in their family units. 90 days maximum for adults. That's what it should have been applied, so that they have got their shit together. They've got their claim, consolidated their claim, and can you moving forward? Action has to be taken at day 91 maximum. And we'll give you 1,000 quid to fuck off with if you go voluntarily.
Yeah, and that
Well,
yeah, exactly. They say voluntary return remains available without payment.
I'll tell you what then. I'm just going to go, right? I'm going to go and get a dinghy. And I'm going to go and I'm go to France. And France will give me 1,000 quid to come back with and say, do you want it to go back? Yeah, give us 1,000 quid. And come here and they say, we'll give you 1,000 quid to go back. And you could just do that. Maybe that's what they
Yeah,
do.
just like 12 months of the whatever, 13 months of the year, we go 13 places.
No, because it's
Oh,
a bit windy. So you could just do 13 days. You could do one day in France, one day in England, one day in France, one day in England. And or you could do one morning
that's
in
going to be
England,
hectic.
one morning in England, and the afternoon in France, and the evening in England, and the next morning in France. And you've made 4 grand.
And by the end of the 30 days, you'll be so exhausted that you won't be able to use any of it.
I'm not rowing it.
No, but just like going up and down, monotonous
Got a
is that.
little motor. Can't be daft. Got a little motor on it. Took me
Maybe
about
we
two
could just
hours.
instead of a dinghy, I think they should just release all the billionaires with yachts for all of this.
That's what I was saying to the little one. She said, I hope you're not going to come over and get on it. on a boat. So
Oh no, not us.
so
Amavans, man. We just be like, bro,
I said,
give
what
me
difference does
give me
it
a
make?
yacht.
What difference does it make? I said, the one thing with some refugees on it, it is how many slaves is it taken for one person to sit on a £5 million luxury yacht? What's the difference if I come by this yacht or this yacht? If I come with the £5 million yacht, I've got to have a load of papers. But if I come on a dinghy, I don't. It's like I'm going dinghy. I'm
But
going dinghy.
it's gonna be dinghy equivalent now.
I'm
So
going dinghy. I'm going to as well,
we
and
just
if we
have a
float,
dinghy in the front, like and with a rope attached to
tell you
the actual
what, I'm
yacht
not
behind.
trying to, you're not in me to a yacht. I'm going to take. It's about floating your own boat, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
about floating your own. It's about moving your own energy and matter freely. And so,
Hmm.
I wonder if I could go and pull Fishy's boat out of the harbour or whether somebody else's thing is salvage. I know. I'll get a Lilo with a
The
motor.
student visa asylum route closed.
What?
The
You
student
know?
visa asylum route
Yeah, you
closed.
can't be having any of that because they all end up being judges. Under occupier, under the occupation of the invasion of the refugees, and so we do have to give these people, genuine people who come because we bombed their country and enslaved them and stripped them of their assets and put a load of Nazis dressed up as tribal leaders there in these different places. Of course, we've got to remedy that. Um, and I like the truth about this.
Yeah,
That's what I
it is
like. And
nice
I
to
like
read.
the words, and I like it is nice to read. It's like you've got Minister and then with AI glasses on, meta
Yeah,
glasses.
Albania. No, not meta glasses, please.
The Albania is the removal destination for refused cases from the domestic processing centre. Send them all to Albania.
Hmm.
If you don't, if you're not a genuine case, don't come, or you'll end up being put in Albania. Albania's quite nice. Oh, that might be the idea. Oh, I bet I'm still in the beans. 90,000 cases, 1.3 billion per year in education. 3,000 caseworkers at 120 million a year clears it within 12 months.
Okay.
Better get those empty shops and buildings open
Oh
so
my
that
God,
we can.
every home secretary announced a crackdown. None hired the caseworkers, all approved the accommodation contract. I thought,
Mm,
meaning, what?
yeah, this is full
I've
disclosure.
never seen them say this about their own
No,
quite this way.
this is because you
This is
can't.
like
They've got the
you
non-disclosure.
writing it down. It's like the
Yeah,
trust writing it down for them.
it is.
Exact.
So what non-disclosure looks like. Gone.
Yeah.
Non-disclosure gone. Hiring takes 10 weeks under emergency conditions. Explaining that training takes 1 week. Assigning casework for the fast track stream. What? It takes a week to train them? Oh, 10 weeks. No, that's hiring. Training for a week. No, that's very good. Bring a passport and a DBS certificate cleared. Start Monday. In other words, taking the piss. Isn't it?
Mm.
Not a complete legal specialist. Security vetting takes 1 day. The Home Office operates a DBS database. Bring a passport and DBS certificate cleared. Wow. Wow. That's that's a big nugget of truth
Nice.
there.
Very fast track.
God, it's so lovely to read. I got
Yeah.
so excited about it last night. I had to go to sleep. I don't read all this. Yeah, I was so excited about the judicial training. I was like, that's it. I can go to sleep now. What? I just took this massive breath. I realised that I haven't felt like holding the breath all this time. Just like big. So returned infrastructure. Require diplomatic leverage. It's really been consistent. Where a country benefits significantly, UK student visa access cooperation. Non-cooperation returns slightly explicit, linked explicitly to future visa volumes to every country that has made it to work. Every country that has made it to work has not has non. Yeah, because that's what they did to us for Brexiting, for breaching the contracts, breaking out of my policies. Okay, well, that Germany, I told you yesterday, Germany admitted that all these people smugglers had been allowed to do what they were doing. Sweden had a contract to stop you, to stop them coming through here to you. Also, really, you were the conduit. Thank you very much for admitting that, Germany. Wonder why you were doing that. Is that because we were under Nazi occupation still? This is your final, final taste on
The right.
the third right Stein Swan Act. Land value
The end.
tax.
Sorry? Yeah. How's it going?
Easy kaput. It's kaput. Taxing the unimproved value of land and makes banking expensive. Incentivizes productive use and captures the uplift created by public investment, including HST. Look, you stuck it in there again. He's desperate to get this. You're not having it. You can take your look at is anything inside a colon, or is that what? Can you just zoom in if there's semicolons or two?
Yeah, there's one for the previous one and then one for the next one. They've secured it. Secured it.
They haven't.
No, they've secured it back to the universe. It's off the document. Right?
I don't know about semicolons.
What?
I'll have to ask them what languages was programs written in.
Yeah.
We don't understand.
Funny symbol. It's a funny symbol. It looks like a wink, really. Looks like a wink.
It's a wink. It's a wink.
Maybe it's a wink. Maybe it's two winks.
Only kidding. We know we can't do it really, but we've got to pretend.
We're just calling it HS2 right now.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge for the public that funded it. Yeah, tell them the truth. All of the money. We'll tell you the truth. All of the money that you were spending, being charged for HS2, was going across to Germany and Europe to pay the fine for fighting them in the Second World War. And we proved that simply by the accounts. Just like
reparations.
Yes. Through Birmingham as well. Birmingham is the collecting account for it. Birmingham Council, that's why we had to do what we did to Birmingham Council.
Oh, that's very nice. So sweet.
Yes. And so, political obstacle, existing homeowners benefit from scarcity. Why are they writing in semicolons? Has he been reading bloody Windmiller?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's trying to create an allodial title on paper.
I wouldn't give it any benefit of the definition, to be honest. I have no idea what that means. Only I've seen it used not outside the Vatican, but close. The political obstacle exists. The political obstacle is existing homeowners benefit from scarcity. meaning is real. Is that what it means?
I have no idea what they've done with these semicolons.
This can completely boundaries on me. The political obstacle is existing homeowners benefit from scarcity. It is overridden by the domestic coalition of everyone who rents, everyone can afford to buy it, and every employer who cannot recruit because their workers cannot afford to live and buy. That's still not an excuse for HS2. Anyway, look, LVT, land value tax, replaces council tax. Very nice. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just. Which is regressive based on 91 valuations. Can you imagine that? Very good.
Yes. No, council taxes. So
Yeah, I
council
know, but on
department
91 valuations, meaning,
based on
of
that,
course, the currency was better off than it is now. So.
and the house prices were lower. So the people who
Yeah,
built
exactly.
houses,
That's what I'm saying. The currency was more valuable then. There's more purchasing power.
the more slaves. You could get more
Yeah.
slaves with money then.
Mm-hmm. The zeros were lesser, but you could get more with it.
I know, but the quality of the slaves were much better then as well. They used to do so told. Now they don't. Sorry about some shit in their water.
Yeah. We,
and
we
even
were
when we
we were all just slaves in any case.
and even when we put them in the prison and feed them lithium in their food, they just won't behave themselves. Run out of fucking time. We've got to let them go. And they come back and do this to us. So it was a good day. LVT rate structure use determines charge. Oh, right of use. So what you use it for determines the charge that is applied then to the land. Just go back because I haven't got used to that acronym. Land value tax.
Yeah, LBT is line value tax. Land
Okay,
value.
keep going up and back to where we were.
This?
No,
Oh,
the
no.
next paragraph, the next
Up or down?
use determines charge. So the purpose is to reward productive use and penalize
Hmm.
idle holding. Oh God, I love him. I'm gonna give him a big kiss when I see him. I am. Or I might kiss Angela Rayner instead of. Not to
Hmm.
punish homeowners, farmers, or genuine second home users, but to make the cost of leaving property empty or underused reflect the social cost it imposes on communities where housing is desperately needed. Love it. I love it.
So you can't park your ass in more than one place anymore.
You've only
Can't
got
you?
one house. You only need one
That's
house.
exactly what I'm saying. They just finally realized that.
Well, it's not. They just finally had their rights restored in universal law brought back to the fore, haven't they? So
Mm-hmm.
that they will not accept anything other than that. Primary
Hmm.
residence, standard LBT rate, transitional protections for asset-rich income forms, particularly elderly homeowners through deferral mechanisms payable on an eventual sale. LBT should not force a 78-year-old widow out of a family home. The deferral scheme ensures it doesn't. It needs a big kiss. Genuine second homes occupied 90 days or more per year, 1.5 times rate, meaningful additional charge without being confiscatory for families with genuine holiday use. So as long as so you can have a little holiday home, you pay a bit more tax on it, but you've got to use it for 90 days on a year. The 90-day threshold, as the family, the 90-day threshold distinguishes genuine recreation use from investment holding. Properties occupied fewer than 90 days a year, 3 times the standard rate. So if you're renting it out on Airbnb, pay 3 times the standard rate. This is the punitive tier that forces the decision. Empty or near empty residential property for up to 676,000 long-term empty properties in England basis charge high enough to make holding it vacant economically rational. Bring it into use, sell it, rent it, or pay 3 times the standard LBT rate annually until you do. Get in there, come live house. overseas owned vacant residential property, 5 times standard rate, significant proportion of empty high value properties, particularly in London, are owned by resident foreign investors using British residential property as a pure wealth store. The registers of overseas entities are already identifies them. 5 times the rate makes that wealth store uneconomical. It is not possible to offshore the building. Bravo. That's Under the Rain. That is Under the Rain. So sure of it. A little bit. Renovation exemption. 18 months at standard rate for properties undergoing active renovation, evidenced by planning permission, building contract, building inspectors visits, evidence-based, not self-declared. Close is the abuse without removing the legitimate exemption for owners genuinely bringing directly properties back into use if they're going to live in them. Very good. Agricultural
exemption.
Yeah, with working farms.
Working farms protected. Yeah.
A Yorkshire Arab
awesome.
farmer with 500 acres generating 60 grand income, facing an annual LVT charge calibrated to land value would be forced to sell viable productive land. That is not the purpose of LVT. The purpose is to penalise unproductive holding, the precise opposite of what working farming represents. Agricultural land in production use is exempt from LVT. The exemption is conditional, not categorical. The distinction that closes the loophole that has made existing agricultural tax reliefs a vehicle for wealthy land banking rather than protection for real farmers. 3 conditions define active productive use. Income test. Agricultural income must exceed 3% of land value annually. The genuine working farm generates meaningful income relative to its asset value. Farmland owned by a city investor with few sheep generating minimum income does not qualify. The test is verified through existing farm payment records. Genuine farming operations are already registered claiming. Active use test lands must be demonstrable agricultural production and managed for defined ecological purposes, active grazing, arable production, market gardening, rewilding for approved scheme, nature recovery and management all qualify. Field left fallow, awaiting planning permission does not. Good. Small holding, automatic exemption. Farms below 200 acres receive full exemption without income test. Small holding is not the vehicle for tax avoidance at meaningful scale. The problem is large speculative land holdings, like Duchy Cornwall, below the threshold. The exemption is automatic and unconditional.
And unconditional. Woohoo!
Get it. The reformed agricultural, it's just fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can't argue.
I mean, that's what I was looking for, the amount of land that this would apply to. So anywhere below 200 acres, you don't need anything basically.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You can just go grow your food.
So reformed agricultural inheritance tax relief income test rather than asset tested is consistent with this policy architecture. The working farm passing on to their children for a hedge fund manager who bought Cotswolds farmland for inheritance tax planning does not. Love it. This is fairer to genuine farming families.
Yeah, we should show this to all the hedge funds. I'm sure they must have read all of this.
That's why they're all panicking.
Yeah. I'm sure they know all of this
it's
already.
good for them. See, they don't know that it's good for them. They haven't been taught this. It's only people who think you've lived like, if you over bought it, think you've got remnants.
Sorry, what?
If you over you've done 40 Gregorian counts around the sun. And then I think people remember there was a different time when all of this was just normal. This is nothing new. This is what we had before.
Yeah. Whatever criminal activity was happening was the new one.
Before this, once upon a time, this thing called this nightmare.
Then your voice went.
This once upon a horrible hypothesis called time.
Yeah, now I can hear you loud and clear.
Once upon a The fairy tale time now. Nice. So they're not going to get penalised for passing the farm down to the family. So good that they've got that out of the way because the Tories were trying to use that money. And this is fairer to genuine farming families that the current blanket relief than the current blanket relief, which protects the asset regardless of whether the land is farmed by a wealthy family. Annual surcharge forces a decision. The compulsory purchase power enforces it. Properties generally empty for 5 years or more with no credible plan for occupation or renovation are subject to compulsory acquisition and simplified Infrastructure Emergency Act. I do like it when it's used the right way. This generates a genuine threat that makes even the 3 times surcharge feel minor by comparison. Ding, ding, ding. Procedures that assessed vacant possession value minus the costs the public authority incurred attempting to bring the property to use. I do like that. The power exists in current law. It is almost never used because the process is expensive and contested. But they've got any indemnification that they want to cover themselves for executing that on these organisations and people who have been holding properties empty for 5 years on up the price.
What? Where have you gone? Hello?
They've been holding these properties empty to pump up
Yeah,
the
yeah,
price.
exactly.
To pump up the price of the other properties with the supply and demand manipulating the market, as you know, and
Yeah.
so that changes that. They're going to be taxed
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
exactly.
And I'm more than prepared to give anything that I might represent in order for them to be able to facilitate that. It's just a shame about the dingly dangly HS2. If 20% of the 676,000 long-term empty homes are brought back into use through this regime, 135,000 additional homes entering the market, that is 6 months of total current house building delivered without laying a single brick. She needs to wear it like a superwoman leotard, I think. Until the rainer in the leotard, superwoman on it. That's what I'm going to see next week. Swinging off a crane, saying, "Not even a brick was laid, and look what we did 135,000 homes." Given that out with a click, if only it wasn't bank holiday coming up. Such a shame. So you the Gregorian calendar. We'll get there in the end.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. We're meeting.
Wherever there is.
Yeah, I just think there's so many people that have already up and about. So as soon as this starts happening, then we'll just.
We've just offered the 22 million people's assignment of consent with 5 hours a week to support it, as long as they get the HS2 out. Yeah, they can't go through that long. It's safer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think by the time we get to starting it off and getting into the whole process of it, the HS2 will automatically just away, I guess.
A national zoning system replaces case-by-case planning permission. If land is zoned residential is built, no individual application, no neighbourhood objection mechanism, no judicial review of individual decisions. Japan's liberal zoning scheme keeps Tokyo's 37 million people at lower rents than London. That is not coincidence, it is policy. 10 new garden cities are designated along the HS2 corridor, planned and built simultaneously with the railway, capturing the connectivity investment in new housing stock from day one. Where is that? Click that HS2 corridor and let's see what I think that's the one that goes from London to Birmingham, not Birmingham to Manchester. Because I haven't got one. Keep going down a bit.
They talk about devolution quite a lot.
Yeah, it says it. Keep going. loss-making assets. They've opened up all of these little side roads to connect the localities together. And they shut all them down when they privatised it and said you're all going on this route and you can catch the bus there instead. Do you see what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to move
Yeah,
all
when
of
I
the
was there, that was what I used to do. Mm. So pretty
well,
difficult to get
really,
to certain places.
yeah, but really, there's little train stations everywhere, but
I know,
they
I
just
know, I know, but those weren't being used, like you said.
no.
Maybe they just
So
open all of them up so we can actually convey ourselves from door to door. Easy.
Dudley, Bradford. Let's have a look at that one. Bradford is one of England's largest cities.
Where's this? Oh, this Bradford. Okay, sorry.
I saw the really amazing train station between Bradford and where the hell was I going? Appley Bridge, and it was all been done out. It was very nice, and the trains were clean, and to give them the thumbs up. And so uh, that's why yesterday was talking about free bus
Mm.
fares. It's,
Did I keep going?
yeah,
Or would you like to read some?
just want to see the corridors of the furniture. They're talking about the. That's going down. Just go back because there was something about West Midlands, wasn't
West Midlands.
there? Yeah, that bit on the map called West Midlands.
Mm-hmm.
But it's above Bradford. It's not on the map, but on this list. Things that recognise jurisdictions.
Further up or?
Down, keep going down. It's above. Yeah, there.
Oh, there you go.
Next, this one. West Midlands Combined Authority has a delivery framework support powers, but it's needed as capital service. Dudley Corridor can support thousands of commercial floor space if low. Okay, it was Dudley. Where they've set fire to these houses might be
Mm.
the yeah. It's just too. Cornwall.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
Stop or go?
Carry on going.
Up. I think we're here to Burnham policies.
Funding. Go to funding. Keep going.
Funding. Acha, okay.
Where is the money coming from? Click that. Where is the money coming from? Let's see what claim we're putting in. 108 billion net additional borrowing over 12 years, 323 UK borrowing in a single COVID year.
What's a COVID year?
It's a year when we had COVID.
Like an
So,
emergency year.
well, that's so the 323 billion in a single COVID year. So what? So that's like
Emergency borrowing.
3 lots of emergency borrowing. No, look. So net additional borrowing over 12 years, the same amount that they borrow over 12 years, which is 108 billion, it is the equivalent then 12 years. So you 3 lots of 12 to get you to the
That's
same amount there.
36.
So that's 12, yeah, 36 years. So it's the same amount of borrowing of 36 years we've done in COVID.
Mm. Yeah.
Wow. And none of it was And none of it was unlawful because the parties covered in claims. Oh dear.
Mm-mm.
What do now?
Yeah, it
What
is.
am I gonna do?
Have you seen the debt creation graph, the American one, the
No,
dollar
let,
the dollar chart just went
let's
whoop, almost like a vertical line straight up ever since 2020.
what the value of the dollar.
No, that was the other way of going down, but the creation of debt was like went vertical 2020.
Of course it did because they were secured for 47 quadrillion slave tokens worth of Monaco.
Mm.
It would go up like a rocket.
Yeah, and then just like
And
flat,
then just no,
done,
because you can't use
the end.
token claims. So,
Yeah, so we
so
got to
where
use it somewhere else.
so so let's just scroll down there so we don't take this out of context. National renewal is funded through productive borrowing, infrastructure bonds, tax reform. It's where is the money coming from can be a proper democratic question. Government asks people to accept new taxes, borrowing or charges should name the amount, the timing, the funding route, the delivery body and the term. That is fiscal seriousness. Are those two words supposed to be together in any fucking sentence? Fiscal and seriousness. Used as a reflex, the phrase turns repair into recklessness, treats decay as a savior. It asks for a receipt before a train, a hospital, a care settle, or a housing program, while barely pricing just roads, high rents, mistreatment, weak productivity, collapsed utility. Liz Truss took one half of the problem, blaming in a 21st July 2026 post on X, a considerable part of the British government is unfunded. I didn't like her telling the truth. It was unfunded, you're right. Hypothesized. A wider point was that treating every single line item as uniquely unfunded can obscure a larger fiscal system already running deficits, carrying hidden liability and relying on optimistic accounting. Yeah, can say that again. We
Double
forgot
bookkeeping.
if we forgot about hedge funding and floating charges. Where is the money coming from? Is the ridiculous demand that other line item budget must be fully funded before it is allowed for serious conversation. Demands that every public investment proposal arrive pre-costed to the pound. While tax cuts, defence increases, and bailouts are too often treated as self-evident affordable expenditure. How's she going to pay for that? Isn't that going to? Oh my god! They've put all of our Zooms into AI and spewed this
Yeah, and
out.
then but we dissolved all the isms and then they brought the isms here.
It's all in one word.
Yeah,
How's she going to pay for
she,
that?
how's she gonna pay for that ism?
That's brilliant.
Where's the money coming from ism? Ism? Where's the money coming from? Ism? Like if ism was someone.
But it isn't coming from the prism of the ism.
From the prism, yeah, I think they missed out
From
the
the
P and the
prism of
R.
the isms. Oh dear. It's brilliant. Oh, it was Liz Truss who wrote that.
Yeah.
Love it. Did Liz Truss write? Won't go. I bet she had to have a lie down for a year for that. The answer is not to abandon. Wait a minute, go back because I wanted to read the definition of how she's going to pay for that. Isn't
She's gonna pay for that ism.
I've always been wondering now. Hey, is the personalised interview-ready cousin of the same reflex aimed at a specific politician in the room rather than the policy on the page? The tell is that the burden of proof runs in one direction. Oh, give him a kiss and start on Monday. Politicians' cutting review rarely face the
Revenue.
same immediate demand influence politicians' proposals to expand it. And they're quoting this trust.
Mm?
Now that's brave. The answer is not to abandon fiscal discipline, it isn't to apply fiscal discipline properly. Tax cut, rail line, care settlement, utility intervention. and the hiring body do not have the same. I wonder if this trust was really Labour in disguise and she'd infiltrated the Tory party.
What?
I wonder if Liz Truss was a Labour candidate in disguise that went in and infiltrated the Tory party. The answer is not to abandon fiscal discipline, just to apply fiscal discipline properly. A tax cut railway. Oh yeah, read that.
Oh, there's a lazy version as well.
Yeah, of course there is. They're called the Tories. What is the money or reform? Where is the money coming from? Because a shield for doing nothing when it demands arithmetic. They're the lazy bastards. Sitting there quaffing wine and champers and caviar, sending all of those lot over the fucking front line on this shilling
Yeah,
stick.
every corporate state has one of those
They are, all of them
organization.
sat there telling everybody else what to do while they're quaffing champers and drinking, eating caviar, and we're all getting shot to shit on the battlefield. Right.
Yeah.
You going out, mate. If you want to play your games, go and play your video games with your goggles on. We can't do anybody any harm except yourself.
Yeah.
Insecure housing, private monopoly, debt, long NHS waits, and skills shortage. It's the latest version. Serious version. Too serious now. The correct task asks what is being bought, whether it is current spending or capital investment, new buys, how the return is captured, and what institute delivers it. It's true. Very serious. We're very serious about this question being answered.
And there's something called the Mark field test.
Make a field test. So they created an area for him.
Oh, make a field test.
Yeah, the maker of the Prime Minister. We're going to make him a Prime Minister with this field. So it isn't actually a place, it's just a jurisdiction of a
Okay.
boundary that they created.
No, not a place, but just a test.
Yeah. It's two places bashed together to create a different boundary so that they could get him in. It was good. It was good restructuring. Water.
The cost of inaction.
Water company debt rise, dividends continue. The special administration regime for Thames Water carries a contingency. The alternative is continued system failure, health risk, and related state intervention under most conditions. Housing, the housing benefit bill is now for 30 billion a year. Failure to build social and council housing is paid through rent subsidies, homelessness services, NHS costs, and weaker labour mobility. Social care, delayed hospital discharge linked to unavailable care costs. The NHS around 2.8 billion. Yeah, because they'd nicked their houses while they were in there. A funded care settlement costs money, but the unfunded model costs hospital capacity, workforce filtering, and labour. Railroad congestion, a weak rail capacity reduces productivity. The fiscal case for rail investment is not only journey time, it is the economic value of a larger effective labour market. I have mechanisms with real numbers instead of fictions. That's all 88. Is that 888?
No, it's just 88 billion.
Oh, it's this exact same amount that they charge charities. One of the charges, 88 billion. Oh, that was under Visa for the money laundering. Yeah, investment borrowing is not the same fiscal category as deficit spending. Rail capacity, housing supply, grid upgrades, ports, hospitals, and schools create assets on the balance sheet and raise productivity capacity. Only if we don't sell it all off while everybody's on lockdown. Affected COVID. Infrastructure bonds about 110 million. That is 11 euros a day to keep you in prison. It's for the power of 10.
Are you ready to read the third point? Brace yourself.
Wait a minute, a second. The second one, look at the second one. It's 10 to the power of 10 of the amount that the charge you can buy your way out of prison in Europe, secured against identifiable revenues. Some infrastructure has revenues attached, rail fares, road tolls. Road tolls? I don't know if I agree with them. Clean energy contracts and land value uplift around new stations. We don't know about road tolls.
Okay,
Minister
yeah, I
of
don't think the tolls are
Interior.
gonna work.
I don't
Mm-mm.
think that.
I don't think the
Mm,
fares are gonna work either. Uh-uh.
no, no.
I don't think their version of clean is gonna work either.
Not when they're talking about nuclear energy. I'm going to have a little tweak with this one. Infrastructure bonds. Place that revenue into the financing structure rather than forcing every project. Need your own. We need to get rid of fiat currency. Then there's none of this fiscal bullshit. Go on, show me what tax reform is. Can't wait.
Okay, get ready to read it.
I'm not excited. The birth
Yeah.
bond. Oh my god. Oh my god.
They've stated it so openly now. Come on.
Oh, I love it. The birth bond is funded by a levy on
Ta-da!
London.
Wow.
The birth bond is
Read it,
funded
people.
by a
Read it.
levy on net assets above 2 million. Click that birth bond, baby.
Projected birth bond value.
Every child born in Britain received 10 grand at birth under the Prime Minister's policy agenda. Invested in a passive index fund and accessible at 25. Enter a birth year to see the projected value. Oh my God, they're showing you the bond calculator on the website. This is us, 33 grand at age 25. So when we were born, we don't know. Or
Don't know.
historical footsie, or if you do historical footsie, it's minus 7%. So let's put in here. You put in there. 1930.
Hmm.
Let's see what happens. The Conservative cancelled the child trust account, it says. Okay, you have to click calculate.
Yeah, but I clicked it like it's not happening.
It
Or
must.
maybe because the child wouldn't be here if it was born in 1930.
Why?
Or maybe it would.
Might have been born in a career
I mean,
because he lived
depending on how long people
325.
live, really.
125. Well, if you're using Gregorian calendar, you're older than you think you are because for each year you've got another. You lived another month, you didn't count it.
Hmm.
So it's quite interesting.
Should we try another one?
So just think of one.
It says example 2027, so maybe it's just starting from 2027. Let's try 2026. Okay. No, this is
Maybe it's just
yeah. I
in
think it's a
some.
dummy thing. Read the full birth bond policy. Share this result.
Oh,
So
goodness. I am absolutely flabbergasted. When she sent me this, she didn't say the birth one. She's put child trust fund, and there it is.
yeah,
And
child trust fund in 2010.
that's to get you all. That's to get you all to go and give you a stamp and send back to them, so
Mm.
that you can have this birth bond, because that means your birth certificate. What happens to your birth certificate then? Click that, read that birth bond. And they separated the birth bond
Oh,
from the child.
but the birth bond, universal capital. What?
Oh,
This is just like what we've been telling everyone in any case.
the single biggest driver of wealth inequality is inherited capital. People born to wealthy parents receive intergenerational asset transfers that compound across a lifetime. People born to everyone else do not. The birth bond addresses this at the root, not by redistributing income, but by giving every child born in Britain a stake on day. I won't jump on it. Every
Basically, you're
child
like a
born
shareholder,
in
stakeholder of the corporation by the virtues.
every
Yeah, that one
child
piece of
born
paper.
in the United Kingdom from year one on the analysis receives birth bond, 10 grand invested by the state in a passive index protecting fund with a cap management fee of 0.25% per year. The fund compounds over 25 years. The bond is accessible at age 25, not 18, to reduce the risk of immediate dissipation. 10 grand invested at a 5-year average annual return over 25 years, approximately 34 grand at maturity. That is a house deposit contribution, a business startup fund, a training investment, or a retirement foundation. The choice belongs entirely to the holder. This is the child trust fund restored. A Conservative Council did in 2010 to give 50 million per year. To save 50 million a year, the birth bond costs 6
500
billion.
million.
500 million, sorry. The birth bond costs 6 billion a year, 10 times the value, universally applied, funded by the wealthy levy, and LBT receives that tax the accumulated capital it is designed to democratize. Children of Russia are Russian oligarchs parking money in Mayfair, of non-dons sheltering assets offshore, have inherited wealth compounding and taxed across generations. They fund through the levy the bonds of every child born here, regardless of background. That is not redistribution. That is justice with a receipt. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. They've got me. I'm pissed. I'm pissed to get rid of the HS2 going through up through Stoke, and I'm in. That's it. I said put Angela Rain there, and I even registered to vote, and that's what's occurring today. To the resident, never seen anything like it. They've separated the electoral roll from the council tax roll because as a political party, you could access everybody's data that was on council tax to send them the propaganda. And so we sent, don't vote for anybody, especially not us. and, and they struck us off with that reasons.
Oh, nice.
Well, if we haven't got any donors,
What?
why are you asking, if we haven't got any donors because we don't take money, why are you asking us each year how much money have we got?
Mm.
We don't take money. Stop asking us. So they struck me out.
Like if you don't take money, then you're not gonna make us any. So
Yeah,
yeah.
if you don't take money, then we're not playing our game of commercial electoralism. Where's the votingism coming from? Let's have a look at the next bit. Oh, I'm sorry. Going too quick. Go back up to the bottom, to the next. A birth bond does not replace the state pension because these solve different problems. State pension is longevity insurance. It pays until death, regardless of how long that's fixed. Capital bond pot please. Replacing the pension with a bond exposes the people who live longest and need the most support to the greatest risk of running. That is the opposite of what insurance should do. This is reverse charges. The pension is reformed, not abolished. State pension age rises to 68 by 2034 and is indexed to longevity thereafter and already broadly planned accelerated. Auto enrollment minimum employer contributions rise from 3% to 5% over 5 years, building genuine private wealth alongside the state floor. The birth bond becomes the foundation of a 3-pillar retirement system. Our tripod of change, there it is. State pension is the floor, auto enrollment, middle, birth bond is the universal capital endowment, compounds across the working lifetime, together significantly stronger than any signal pillar or column. Go up. The person who retires in 2051, having held their birth bond for 25 years, arrives at retirement with both state pension and a meaningful capital sum. that combination has never been available to anyone who has not been born to money. And so say all of us. And so say all of us. But she's a jolly good
Yeah,
fellow.
like
Wrote this.
Joe, when I
Awesome.
emailed today, I emailed saying I can't believe my eyes and still continuing.
I know, and so it's a good job. I sent it because I to one of our events, and she came back and talked about this. Otherwise, I would have just stuck to the judicial thing in HS2. So I'm glad that her little diligence has brought this. Structural problem has been known for 30 years. Largest unpaid bill in public life, social care. So we're all milking it. Cap was legislated. All identify the funding gap, so they had a load of reviews, but didn't do anything about it. The cap was legislated in the Care Act 2014, same treaty of Nice, delayed to 2020, delayed into 2023, and cancelled by January 2022. The state relies on, that was their proposal of how they were going to indemnify themselves. The DNA already spelled out and broadcast in 2014. The Treaty of Nice. The state relies on 5.4 million unpaid carers, providing 132 billion free care annually, while they all drive around in Bentleys and the shares in pharmaceuticals and private health cares. Isn't that right, John Lamb? Provide 132 billion of free care annually, roughly the NHS budget, while paying them £2.34 an hour in carers allowance for work. It would not pay a nurse £18 to perform. It would pay a nurse £18 to perform. The Distomo cap
What?
is implemented.
Your voice.
So the carers, unpaid carers, or if you did get a carer, if you did get a carer allowance, you were able to get £2.34 an hour to do the job that a nurse would cost to have that same job done by a nurse, £18 to perform. Allowance, yeah. So that's what I mean, this is just wonderful that everybody can see that this is why this needs to happen. The asset stripping lottery ends. I love it when they use those words like that. Go up, let's do some more. This is like democracy porn. The deferred payment agreement. A loan from your local authority used in your home to fund residential care, repaid from the property on death. Yes, only on death. But then they went around and killed them all. Has been a legal entitlement since 2014. Most people who need it have never heard of it. Private equity firms spotted the gap. They buy the elderly person's home on care home admission, rent them out, fund the care, earn the rental income, and then pocket the profit. The state designed the mechanism and left the value for private operators to extract. Then that's the truth about that. The National Social Care Property Fund makes the scheme universal, active, and self-financing. Every homeowner admitted to residential care is automatically offered enrolment. Fund acquires the property at full independent market value. The purchase price is credited to the resident's social care property account. There you go, no money involved, so no tax from which care costs are drawn, no external borrowing, the resident's own capital from the transaction, no interest charged to the resident, and no government subsidy required. The fund immediately lets the property to a family from social housing waiting list to social rent. The rental income is credited to the account, reducing the weekly care cost drawdown. That's what exactly that said. So you've got him in there, and now you don't have to pay me or anybody else housing benefit. You might be exercising the right shelter. No, they wanted as many people claiming housing benefits as possible. So that's how they could block you.
Your voice.
Because that's how they could launder your accounts. And then they've got the jurisdiction over your children because you've taken money from them because you're living in a corporate community that thinks capitalism's good. The fund immediately lets the property. Wait a minute, when finish that bit, I like that bit. The rental income is credited to the account, reducing the weekly care cost drawdown. The property is maintained throughout. It provides secure social housing during the care period rather than sitting empty. Bravo. Specific example, house worth 280 grand, care costs 900 a week. over 2.5 years. Average residential care stay tax costs total 117 grand. Rent link totals 18. Net draw down 99,000. Account balance on death 181,000. Funds deducts 3% admin fee 2,970. The estate receives 178. 030. Now, if it's been used like that, then they shouldn't be paying inheritance tax on it. Should they? Because this is the thing with tax. The little one hit on the head. She said, "Why are we paying tax when we paid the tax to earn the money? Then we pay the tax when we spend the money, and then we have to pay the taxes when whatever we spent the money on we want to give to somebody else." Why? She said, "Well,
Yeah, they've reduced it all to just a 3% admin fee.
Because we're using their money."
Mm.
On death, family offered the house back at the original admission valuation adjusted by CPI. Fair define no
CP lie.
surprise. CPI.
No, it's a CP lie because it doesn't take into account the labor market.
What? Doesn't take into account what?
The CPI is the index. Which index is this? The consumer price index.
So why do you call it lie?
Because it doesn't take into account the labor market, the employment.
Oh, does it not?
No, it doesn't. It's a complete
No?
lie. It's a complete hoax. The whole shit
Okay,
show.
well, we'll sort that out then.
That's why they keep saying the economy is resilient. The economy is resilient, and they never show the actual numbers of unemployment. Which they have to keep adjusting because they keep saying the projection is this, the employment is great, and then 2 months later they go back and say, oh, we were wrong about that. There's these many million jobs now that people don't have.
They talk about growth in 0.1% now.
Sorry, what?
They talk about growth as 0.1%.
Mm.
And just pass it around. And sometimes it's half and it goes down. Sometimes it's up and it goes up half. Still 1%.
Yeah, meaning it because it makes a huge difference.
To take a fucking breath with at the minute, but this is looking very, very promising.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If they could just.
So that can come out. Don't like that one. No surprise. 6 months to arrange.
Hello.
Neither buys open market sales with proceeds to the estate. In every scenario, the estate receives the account balance. The conveyancing takes days, not months, because the Property Information Authority already holds a complete property record. No searches to commission, no letters to send, cutting out the middleman, milking it, also known as solicitors and conveyancers. The PIA and fund signed together. 350,000 properties at steady state generating 2.52 billion annual rental income, self-financing from year 3, 0 ongoing government subsidies, 350,000 units of occupied social housing provided without building civil or
This is awesome.
there with a wrecking ball. It is really
Yeah,
awesome.
this is awesome.
And
Zero ongoing government subsidy as well. And it's self-financing from year 3.
Yes. It's very, 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 very good.
Yes, amazing.
Nursing bursaries are restored immediately. The Cameron era abolished saved a small amount, cost 3 times as much in agency nursing spent within 5 years. Plastic silo accounting, physician associates, advanced nurse practitioners, and expanded pharmacists prescribing rights. Fill the GP gap faster, more cheap than training doctors. A GP costs 250 grand to train over 5 years. Physician associate costs 60 grand over 2, but handles the majority of GP consultations. The BMA's resistance to scope expansion is a union protecting its members' position. It is over public interest. Capital and productivity, NHS estate capital investment is designated infrastructure financed through infrastructure bonds off the Treasury's annual current spending constraint. The PFI contracts that Blair led are bought out where borrowing rates make it advantageous. AI is deployed at scale in administration, scheduling, and diagnostic support, not as a cost-cutting exercise, but as a productivity investment that frees clinical time for GP spending 40% of their time in administration for an extraordinarily expensive administrator. We missed an eye out of traitor. Prevention. Sugar taxes, national alcohol minimum pricing and planning rules sit in the same prevention frame. Urban planning mandates, walkability, green space, active travel, infrastructure embedded in the zoning system. Prevention spending is invisible for 20 years. It is done anyway because the alternative is treating entirely avoidable chronic disease at a greater cost investment. True. Tick box. Next, educational skills. The university system is not failing because it is funded in a functional sense. It is failing because its funded model was built on a style visa environment destroyed.
Wow.
It's outrageous that it's taken
Yeah,
so long
like,
to get the truth about what these ministers were doing.
but they are spilling it, so it's great. Meaning, I'm sure of course, there is some room left for some more due diligence on the.
Yeah, there is. There's a few tweaks,
Mm.
but
Yeah, because I don't think they like know enough on certain areas really.
they need their own currency. When they come out and they say that they accept our giving out these vouchers.
Sorry, what? Your
They're
voice.
giving out the kindness credit vouchers now so that they can go
Mhm.
and deal directly with the people. So we're slowly weaning ourselves off the
Slave token.
slave token.
Mhm.
I've had enough now, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna close this.
Yeah, and I think it's very good. That's all I can say. Really,
Mm-hmm.
how
It is
good
very
is that to be a birth bond?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
That
come
was
on, if they're equalizing the whole playing field, which is great. Meaning,
it,
over a period of time, it will all become um, there'll be economy basically instead of
it's
economy.
it's just
Equanimity.
was it's so important that we don't let all of the good bits cloud the very poignant uh, problems that are still apparent in there. And there was fiscal, that index link, and HS2.
HS2
Yeah,
and their idea of clean energy,
yeah.
yeah, which is not
So
very clean. So
no, so it says that. I'm not going to interpret it.
what?
I'm not going to interpret it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's why I thought I'd just shut up now because the universe needs to tell me
Mm.
what it makes with all that.
Do its thing.
Ah,
The universe needs to do its thing.
yeah, I need to leave some space to shut the fuck up and let the universe in.
But you'll get that, which is we're going to go to
Hello.
sleep in any case, so
Yeah,
enough
I
time.
got it last night. I laid down last night and I said, right, come on the universe. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know what I'm saying. Don't know what's going on. So it showed me the next step. No, it's like there isn't one really. It's all done. So you have a nice sleep now, and that's it. So,
Yeah, pass out.
said to my friend,
Boing.
feel like I can sleep for 1,000 years. She said, don't be doing that yet.
No, I don't think I don't think I want to sleep for a
I'm not
thousand years.
ready yet. No, I'm
Mm.
too wide awake now with all this.
Mm.
So, but I felt that it. I felt myself overload myself there, and I don't want to. I don't want to just skim over it. You
Yeah, I
know?
know that's a lot of information to take in as well. Meaning, so obviously
Yeah.
we've taken in so much more information than that. That's the gist of whatever we've been doing
Well,
over
that's got
the.
all of its information from us over 10 years,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's quite mind blowing. So have it all
It's like a nice breezy
together.
read for us, but normally I think people will find it a little heavy.
So, well, don't do that. I don't like it.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's not presume
Sorry?
other people. Let's not presume what other people can can absorb.
Yeah,
And
no,
it sounds rather
just by my
fancy.
own experience. That's what I'm
Okay,
talking.
well, it's very simple, spelled out, very simple, and there's some links, and it's them saying it. That's the point. These are
Mm.
the people they believe that. Well, if it were true, the government would be saying it. There you go.
Mm.
There
They
you
said it.
jolly well go. But and we had to say it first, and we had to fight for it. That's the difference. These people haven't had to go and do what we had to do to get that in there. They're just the ones that are now playing the roles because they are there to be played like this. And that's it. So, oh, it's really great. And I need to go and kind of assimilate that now. So,
Okay.
Minister Your Mind, session 2, Andy Burnham's interpretation of Distomo Reset Program. We will continue tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well,
Have a good night.
Andy.
All right. Love you. Bye. You muted yourself. Is you gone?